in this video, I want to do a little exercise. I'm going to use Ryan Holiday's Stoic philosophy to see if it's a bunch of bullcrap or it's actually helpful in my life. You can apply this same thing to your life and your specific anxieties. And I think it's just a quick little exercise that can kind of help you use the plethora of useful knowledge on the internet. If you're not familiar, Stoicism is a rapidly growing movement of, I think, Roman philosophy. I'm kind of new to it, but I know it's helped a lot of successful people like Charlie Munger, who was Warren Buffett's business partner. So let's just get to it. He has 562,000 subscribers for his daily Stoic YouTube channel. Let's see if these 10 tips, because it seems like a lot of young people are very excited about the Stoic movement, to see if it actually works or it's just a bunch of crap. So there's 10 tips. Let's go through them. 1, focus on the little things. So my anxiety is actually, I'm going to choose the anxiety of making friends and getting out there and being okay with that, because I've often struggled with that, and especially nowadays, since if you've seen my previous videos, I'm moving around a lot. It's harder because I'm always in a new place. So his whole idea is that the Stoics focus on the next step forward, not the whole journey ahead of you. I think it helps a little bit, rather than thinking, oh, I'm always going to be moving to a new place, just the next step ahead, which is get out of your house, meet someone new. And that's what I have been doing. I've been going to meetup groups, whether it's an improv class or running club, and it does help just putting that next step forward. But is it a complete solution? No, because in the back of my head I'm always like, well, I'll be gone here soon, so the people I meet, like, is it really going to matter? 2, he says, practice gratitude for everything in life. Now this actually, I think, is more, to give him credit, it is more useful. I don't think it's only the Stoics who do this by any means, but gratitude for my life, being able to live in the US, having the option to travel, having the option to explore different cities, the option to appreciate everything I have, the free time to make YouTube videos and all of that. It does help. You know, there are trade-offs that come with that, but all in all, I think that was a helpful tip. So check mark there. 3, have no opinion. So his point here is that the Stoics, they don't ascribe an opinion to something. You don't have to have an opinion to it. That's just how it is. That's how life is. So yeah, this is a trade-off to having to move around a lot. Doesn't mean I have to have an opinion to it. Doesn't mean that it's a bad thing or good thing. It's just a thing that I have to process and deal with. It's kind of an indifferent approach, not something I've tried before. It kind of helps, but it's more, I feel like it's more like accepting the inevitable or accepting what's in front of me. So I would give that a little bit of a bump, but I wouldn't say it solves everything. Number 4, stop caring about what people think. This one has no relevance, unfortunately, to my situation. My inner dialogue is internal and somewhat selfish about it. It's like, I want to make friends. I want to, you know, be able to see people on a recurring basis, or just make friends and get out there and not just be alone in a new city. So it's really not so much about other people's opinions. I guess it is, because we want other people to like us when we try and extend our hand for friendship. So in that way, I could kind of see how it helps, because truth of the matter is, like, some people are not going to want to be your friend when you extend your hand, and just don't care about those people. Move on to the next. Number 5, process your emotions. The Stoics don't actually just leave your emotions for dead and repress them or suppress them. They process them. They journal. They talk it out. And I think that's important. I mean, the Will Smith debacle with him screaming at the Oscars, that was out of, I felt it was out of him suppressing various emotions until he just blew a casket. So I've been there myself when I was young, and so just processing them, journaling them, talking about them, even through this YouTube video, helps you at least understand them and identify if they're worthwhile. 6, don't suffer imagined troubles. We worry about all these things that may happen one day, but may never will. For me, it's very real in the sense that there's a good chance that they could happen. If I don't do something, I could totally see myself, because I'm definitely an introvert and I don't like going out sometimes. It's less comfortable, but yeah, a lot of things I worry about may never actually happen. I used to worry a lot about not ever getting a job, being homeless, unemployed, and there's a significant stretch where that was the case, and I was just applying to jobs. However, that's something that was a really real worry, and I tried so hard for a long time, but I eventually got a job. And you might think it's forever, but we live long lives. Did you really think I would be spending the next 40 years applying to jobs and never finding a thing? Probably not. So there's a lot of these worries that we blow out of proportion. And so are there people that I've made friends with? This isn't really a tip from the Stoics, but like looking into your past helps as well. I remember just in the last couple months going out and making friendly faces. Some people weren't as friendly, others were, and I was able to meet friends, which was something that was tough for me in school more than other people. So in my head, I thought it was worse, but I did make some friends, or at least found a lot of welcoming people. Number 7, choose not to be harmed. This is another great one, because I think the Stoics, they just choose. I think one of the key principles is you make the choice of how to respond, react, or suffer based off how the world presents itself. You always have that choice. You may not have the choice of how the world lays something on you, but you can always choose how to react. Again, I don't know if that's independent of just Stoic philosophy. There's probably various other philosophies and religions that cover that, but I think it's important. Life may suck. I may go out and not be able to make any friends, feel alone, but I can choose to a degree how to react to that. I wouldn't say it solves everything. Part of me is just like, well, if I feel like crap about being lonely, just how many people did during the pandemic, I'm still going to feel like crap. I may be able to semi-convince myself not. So that's kind of like a ongoing skill set to develop. It doesn't just solve everything. Number 8, go for a walk. This one's just kind of like go out there. Now, for me, I found that taking a walk with nature, like at a park, that helps me more than just a random walk. So for me, just seeing nature or something about that makes me feel a bit more at ease. So I'll give that one like a little bit of a bump as somewhat useful. Number 9, keep a journal. This goes back to processing your emotions. I've been journaling for a while. It's just a big personal development thing. It doesn't have to do with Stoicism. I did it before Ryan Holiday even made his channel. I think it helps to a degree. Like for me, it's just a mess in my head, but when I write it out, something about it makes it more logical. I can see it, and then I can process it logically and be like, well, that doesn't make sense, or that does. It doesn't solve everything, but it crystallizes this mess in my head of emotions, things. And then number 10, grab the right handle. Okay, so he's basically saying this is about choosing your perspective. Someone could screw you over, but depending on your perspective, you could find something productive or not productive from it. Even though I'm kind of new to Stoicism, it seems like it's a lot about finding what's useful or not useful about it. Like if something's inevitable, what's the purpose of worrying about it constantly? Like death. Death is an example. So in this case, with me making friends, my perspective that could be useful, my handle could be something like, well, I can go out there and try, and achieved success before, and it's a new opportunity to experience different cultures. Or I could use the non-useful approach of, oh, woe is me, like I'm going to be lonely forever, or I'm going to go out there and get rejected, or I'm not going to find the right groups. And then even if I do, I have to move on. Just get very negative all the time. The first one is more exciting and productive and positive. So those are the 10 tips. I think in general they are helpful. Do they solve all my anxiety problems? No, but they do help. I think it's useful to kind of test out different philosophies and take what works best for you. I think one thing that I found a bit more useful was from the Dalai Lama, who said that anxiety comes from a selfish place. So if you turn it to be something more selfless, then it starts to go away. And while it doesn't solve everything, it did kind of make me take a step back and realize, wow, I am being really selfish. Even with you, like if you're worried about acing a test in school, think about it. Like, it's like, oh, wow, I want to do well in school so I can make a lot of money in a career one day. It's very selfish, and really, is it necessary? I mean, you probably do fine in life, even if you're not super rich or prestigious. It's not going to be the end of the world. There are people who don't have clean water. So having that reset, and it goes back to gratitude, I think that's helpful. So those are the exercises, and that was my little fun exercise of trying out the Daily Stoic by Ryan Holiday's YouTube channel tip advice on anxiety. Hope you found that entertaining. See you later.